Hey everyone, welcome back to Drive It Out. My name is Adam, and right now I am driving the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid Nightshade. And I tell you what, I've been driving this vehicle for a few days now, and you know what? This is the only way to say it. This is a no-nonsense car. That's what this is. So you know what? I was gonna set up my tripod like I do a lot of times, and I thought, no, I'm just gonna get the camera out, I'm gonna hold it, and I'm gonna give you a no-nonsense intro and outro to this video, because that is what this vehicle is. That is what I love about it. So let's look it over real quick, and then we're gonna get into some details while we go driving. So, all right, so what we have here is a vehicle that is smaller than the RAV4, but it is bigger than something like a Prius or a normal Corolla or a Corolla hatchback. There's all kinds of Corollas these days, right? But what you need to know about the Corolla Cross is this is meant a little bit more for adventure than the other Corollas that you might be thinking of. And I tell you what, I think it does it pretty well. You know, it's up off the ground a little ways. This one here, being the Nightshade, has these awesome black accents everywhere. No, you would think maybe being called Nightshade, the vehicle would be just all blacked out, black paint, black wheels, black trim, all that, but it's not. What you have here is this beautiful red color, and that's right, if it looks familiar, it's the Soul Red from Mazda. They have shared it with Toyota here. So what that means is you get this really sharp looking vehicle with all these cool black accents on it. And first off, you notice the black roof, and I think it looks quite sharp. And I tell you what, the way that they've put the black trim up here, you get Corolla Cross here and Corolla Cross there, and there's Corolla Cross kind of all over this car, and they're proud of it, you know, and they should be. There's even a really cool Corolla Cross logo that I found that I almost missed. But I tell you what, let's go driving and let's talk about what makes this car such a great vehicle for what you get. All right, let's get behind the wheel. I'm excited to share with you guys because this car has surprised me kind of how much I've enjoyed my time in it, and I'm anxious to share that with you from behind the wheel. So let's go. All right, so let's talk about this Corolla Cross Hybrid. Now, I've not personally driven the Corolla Cross, but on paper, I admit it doesn't look very exciting. But when you get in the Corolla Cross Hybrid, it actually pleasantly provides a little more spunk, or what I imagine is a little more spunk over the other one. Now, sports car, this is not. Hot hatch, this is not. But small and somewhat agile, this is. What I'm getting at is, even though this is a very simple vehicle, very much what you might consider basic transportation, there is a little bit of enjoyment to be had in here if you're willing to get close to the edges. So we're rocking the 2-liter in here, hybrid, right? So let's see what we've got for power. We're coming into a pretty good turn here. I've got paddle shifters. Oh boy. You do somewhat feel like you're gonna roll right out of your seat if you try to go into a corner hot. But I tell you what, if you're ready for it, it's fine. If you know it's coming, it's fine. Let's do another one here. I'm gonna go down to what it's telling me is second gear. I know it's an eCVT, and you can feel that back outside corner tire just screaming a little bit. And as the car goes down on its haunches, mostly on that wheel. But the reason that there's some fun here is because it's just not that large of a vehicle. So I'm not gonna lie, this vehicle has become somewhat slightly endearing to me the more that I drive it. Maybe that's because the most recent vehicles that I've been in have been on the larger side. So naturally you get in something smaller and it feels pretty fun, right? But to be honest, here's the best thing about the Corolla Cross Hybrid. It's the no-nonsense theme that is in this car. Now this is a Corolla Cross Hybrid, and then I got 2 words for you. Well, one, they push them together. Nightshade. 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 It's a fun word. Yes, this car is kind of a bright red, a brighter red, and it's very good looking, but as you notice, all the trim is black, the door handles are black, the roof is black, and they're kind of going after this sleek vibe, right? And I think that's kind of cool. If you're gonna get somewhat of an ordinary piece of transportation, why not give it a little flavor? I think that's kind of fun, right? Here's the deal. Here's why this has become fun to me. I've gotten the feeling in this that anyone could get in this vehicle and they are ready to go. Within 15 seconds of getting in, putting their seatbelt on, they are ready to rock and roll. There is not a lot to figure out in here. And I'm not saying that is a complete negative. I actually like that. You get in and control everything in this vehicle with ease right away. Starting with your simple shift lever, right? I have a regular shift lever in here. I grab it, I pull it into gear, I feel the car go into gear. Nice and easy, no dial to fidget with, no buttons to figure out. Do I push on this one or pull on this one for drive or reverse? None of that business. You have a shift lever, P, R, N, D. Very easy. Love it. I'm looking down here at the gauges real quick with my eyes. Easy to read. I don't have to stay there long. Why? Analog gauges. Analog gauges are excellent. Nothing wrong with them. Yes, digital screens are what most cars in 2025 have for a gauge cluster. It's just a digital screen. We get it. We've talked about this before. It's customizable. You can change drive modes and the whole look of the gauges changes. And yes, that is all really neat. But I tell you what, sometimes you just want things to work, to be simple, to reference down. You just tap your nose down for a second, you know what you're referencing. And it's easy to find. You're not getting lost in a wash of a whole bunch of things on your screen. If it's a really bright day, sometimes those screens don't look that clear. You know, it's just like the quality of a television screen, right? When you're looking at television screens, some will have deeper blacks than others, right? And that's going to enhance the way that your pictures look and how deep all your colors look, right? Well, sometimes you get these digital screens on these gauge clusters, especially on cars that don't cost that much, and things can get washed out pretty easy in your gauge cluster because your dark colors and your blacks aren't very deep. So just give me a good analog gauge cluster. You know what? There's a little screen in the middle. It's got some good information on it. I love it. This thing has Toyota Safety Sense, so there's all kinds of features that you're gonna see icons for in there, but they're narrowed down to that screen in the middle of your gauges, right? So you're not worried about kind of getting lost everywhere. On the left, I have my tachometer. On the right, I have my speedometer. Yes, that's right. I'm in a hybrid where they've gone ahead and given me a regular tachometer. I can see my RPMs. It's wonderful. I love it. Thank you, Toyota. Even though I'm in a hybrid here, I've got an RPM gauge, a good, nice, clear one, by the way. I can barely glance at it and I know, okay, my red line is just above 6,000 RPMs. And about halfway through the rev range is pretty much straight up and down. And so in my peripheral, when I see those revs, while I still have my eyes up on the road, I can see that dial, right? Reaching kind of in the middle. I know where my revs are at. I know. It's so simple, it's so easy, it's little things, and I'm all about it in this car. That is why I tell you that this car has become somewhat endearing to me. The simplicity of it makes it so accessible. You get in this vehicle and you just drive. That's what's great about it. Now, are there some things you could complain about in here? I don't know. Maybe. For this price, I don't know that you really should be complaining about anything all that much. My biggest gripe about the interior of this car is the center cup holders are kind of wonky. They're a weird shape. They don't hold anything. They seem like they weren't really thought through at all. I mean, even in an inexpensive car, you could put some cup holders that kind of adjust to the size of your beverage. pretty easily. I feel like that would be pretty easy to do, and they didn't do that. So you have these things down here that really don't hold anything. But you know what? You got cup holders in the door. They work great. I got my big cup over in there right now. And there's good cup holders in the door in the back too. That's good because in the back seat, by the way, there's no center console that folds down in between your back passengers. It's the first time I've been in a car in a long time there that middle part of that seat back doesn't fold down into some sort of armrest. You know, this is not an expensive car, and I think that one of the challenging things when you make a car that's not expensive is picking and choosing what you do put your money into. And I give them an A for the things that they've chosen to put their money to from an amenity standpoint inside the interior of this car. It's fantastic. It really is. I'm impressed because the way I prioritize things in the interior of a vehicle from higher to lower priority, all the things they chose to go ahead and do are all things on the top of my priority list. And I dig it. The infotainment, very simple, easy to use. Yeah, the screen is small. You want to complain about that? That's fine. I understand we have vehicles that have screens all across the dash these days. You don't need that. It just gives your eyes more to be distracted by. Just drive. Just get in and drive. The screen's great. I can read everything on it. The buttons down here for the HVAC are simple, easy. No, this doesn't have dual climate control. No, there's no switches for the climate control for the people in the back seats. I don't care. That's okay. It's a small car. It's a small cabin. We're all going to be about the same temperature anyway. And that's just fine. I've got 2 dials down here for my climate control, right? I've got my temperature dial and I've got my fan speed dial. And if you didn't notice, I just reached for both of those without looking. I kept my eyes on the road. That's beautiful. If the climate control was in a touch screen, I would have to look where my finger is going to touch, and I'd be either tapping and then we got bumps and I'm missing, or I'd have to hope I can hold down and do it there, or maybe I get some haptic feedback and that helps. No, we don't need that. I've got buttons and dials here. It's great. No big deal, no nonsense. I love it. It's easy. I pick up a passenger who's never been in this car before. They want to adjust things. They just reach right on over and do it. They're not looking to me to be like, hey, how do I do things in here? You ever get in a friend's car, you jump in, and you're a little too warm or you're a little too hot, and you kind of do that thing where you reach or put your hand up and you're like, hey, how do I? You start a sentence like that? Nope. Those sentences don't happen in here. None of that. Nobody, no passengers start their sentences with, how do I blank? It's just not happening. Everything is easy to do in here. This is a fantastic car to just be a car, to just be good quality transportation. And by the way, you're gonna get great gas mileage. By the way, there's good power. No, there's not even, they didn't even hit the 200 horsepower mark in this thing, but it doesn't matter because it's a small vehicle, right? Think about power to weight ratio, power to size ratio, you know? This is a good driving experience. It really is. And I tell you what, for the money, the quality of a driving experience you're getting in here is solid. You basically have a bigger Prius with more room inside. It's easy to drive. I got in this car and I was in tune with this car before I drove a block. You know what? I applaud Toyota for that. These are the things that make the Corolla Cross good. All right, now let me mention some things that are not my favorite. And of course, we've got a CVT transmission here. You go straight to that. CVT, eCVT, however the gear setup, all the planetary gear setup is working. It's just not, it's not a very engaging powertrain, right? You know, they do it for efficiency. That's what CVTs are for. They are for efficiency. And that's what's happening here is efficiency. But I tell you what, for a vehicle with a CVT, this is perfectly adequate driving experience, all right? Yes, I don't like the way the powertrain sounds when I really put my foot in it. I mean, listen, I guess you could say that every engine growls. I've talked about sports cars in the past, or vehicles with engines that sound really good, and I say they have a good growl to them, right? Well, this engine growls. It's loud, but it's I guess there's a kind of growl that sounds tough, and there's a kind of growl that doesn't. This powertrain kind of growls like a grumpy old house cat might. If you walk into a room or make a fast movement and you make it feel like it might have to move faster than it wants to, and it kind of just gives that like you're inconveniencing me kind of growl. The growl of this engine paired to this transmission kind of is a growl like that. But you know what? If you're not putting your foot in it, you could drive this around town all day, every day. You could commute in this thing, and this thing will never offend you until you want to go make an evasive maneuver, right? If I really want to get on it to pass somebody, the revs are just kind of floating up there, and you kind of get this mushy experience to go down and get power, and that's the nature of CVTs, eCVTs, what have you. That's just what they are. There are hybrids out there that you can get that don't have that feeling because they have real automatic transmissions in them, and that's what I would prefer from a driving experience standpoint. But as far as a machine experience, an experience of being in a vehicle that's just solid transportation, and you're not caring a whole lot about the driving dynamics. I mean, I just had it on those curvy roads back there, and the body roll on this thing is pretty intense, right? But you're not taking this to autocross. You're taking this to work, or you're taking it to the store, or you're taking it for a night out on the town, or you're taking it on a road trip. Do it. Throw all your stuff back there and do it. Now, the back seat, while not massive, is okay. If you're gonna do a really long road trip, your passengers in the back might get a little discontent before you do here up front, but it's a smaller vehicle, right? It is a small little crossover. So you do have a nice big hatchback there. You're gonna be able to fit a bunch of stuff in the back. This is no nonsense transportation, and that's why I like it. When I start to talk about the things I don't like about it, they instantly get drowned out by the things I do like about it. So I think what they did here is they made you a cooler Prius in some ways, right? Well, the Prius is a lot of things. No one usually says that the Prius is cool, but not everything has to be cool. It just needs to be great at what it's for, right? Prius is great at what it's for. This brings you some of that greatness and adds a little bit of flavor, a little bit of spunk, and I'm all for it. The hot color on this car is great. It honestly, it increases the quality of the experience. This is Soul Red. This is an awesome color, and it looks great on this car. I think this is a really sharp looking car. I like the contrast of the black on the outside, and this is a driving experience that, while not the most exciting in the world, there's nothing to really complain about here. Outside of, in a perfect world, I'd put a different transmission in it. But on normal everyday driving, just get in and go. There's no learning curve here, and it's gonna be perfectly fine. All right guys, like I said, I've been driving this vehicle for a little while, and I'm excited to be in it still for another couple days, but I just have to emphasize again what you're getting here. Now, this is a Nightshade with the options here, the JBL sound system, all that stuff. This has you up just under $36,000, $35,998. But I tell you what, for what you're getting here, I think that price is right on the money. Because think about it, when you're going to buy a new vehicle, you're about to start maybe a long-term relationship with a vehicle, right? You're thinking, is this vehicle going to be able to do everything that I want it to do? If it's going to be a do-it-all vehicle for you, most likely, or at least a commuter, right? You're asking, is it going to do those things well for me? Yes, this thing's got the commute for you. It's ready to go. You can road trip in this thing. Sure, absolutely. You're going to go on a little bit of an adventure, maybe get off the paved roads a little bit. This thing is ready to rock and roll. Guys, you think, okay, but still, this is a commitment. Is this thing gonna be here for me when I really need it in the, rain or shine and long haul? It's ready to go, guys. Toyota has been doing the hybrid thing for a long time, and I think that if you get in one of these, peace of mind is just kind of part of the package deal that you're looking for. And so guys, I have been pleasantly surprised with how much I have enjoyed my time in this particular Corolla Cross. I think the color's right on point. I think the trim, the Nightshade, is right on point. You know, a lot of vehicles are trying to do this gloss black trim everywhere to dress things up. It doesn't always work. I don't think it works that well on most trucks. And there's other vehicles where it's just like, I think you're trying a little too hard. But here on the Corolla Cross, I think it's just right. This is just the right amount of, yes, it's a normal car, but you know what? I picked a sporty one and I kind of like that. And I like the attitude that this thing gives off. So guys, thank you so much for watching. You have found us here on YouTube. You can find us also on Instagram at DriveItOut. I am personally on Instagram at Naturally Aspirated Adam. I put some of my more obscure car stuff and travel and adventure stuff there. But I hope this helps you with your buying decision. If you are looking for something to do a commute in, but you don't want it to just be that, you want it to give you a little more maybe on the weekends or when you're not commuting, right? This could be a great option. Throw everybody in here and go. So 2025 Corolla Cross Hybrid Nightshade. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next review. And remember, when in doubt, drive it out. Hey there, I'm excited that you found Drive It Out. I've been doing this for over 5 years now, and it's been a blessing meeting and working alongside so many amazing people. It's been a lot of fun driving so many awesome vehicles. Whatever type of vehicle you are interested in, chances are we have a video for that. So if you'd like to subscribe and maybe even hit the notification bell, that would absolutely mean the world to me. If there's something you're looking for that you don't see, feel free to reach out in the comments or send me a message on Instagram.